The word photosynthesis simply means using light to produce. Photosynthesis is a process whereby plants using light energy from the sun convert carbon dioxide and water to glucose, sugar, and oxygen gas through a series of reactions. Many of you might have a slight understanding of photosynthesis, but today we're going to dig deeper into the scientific explanation of what photosynthesis really is. Approximately 50% of a plant's dry mass consists of carbon, fixed in photosynthesis. This process is vital for growth and survival of virtually all plants during the major part of their growth cycle. Leaves are beautifully specialised organs that enable plants to intercept the light necessary for photosynthesis. The light is captured by a large array of chloroplasts that are in close proximity to air and not too far away from the vascular tissue, which supplies water and exports the products of photosynthesis. The primary processes of photosynthesis occurs in the chloroplasts. These contain chlorophyll and are found in cells whose main constitution is water, but they must also be in a position to intercept light and be supplied with carbon dioxide. Here the demand for CO2 is determined by the rate of processing CO2 in the chloroplasts, governed by its structure and biochemistry. The overall equation for photosynthesis is carbon dioxide plus water with light and chlorophyll leave behind glucose and oxygen. As you can see in this diagram, in the second stage, light splits water to help make ATP. The carbon dioxide that was taken in from the plant at the end of the stage actually turns into carbohydrates such as glucose, and they're stored as chemical energy. CO2 uptake occurs through the leaf pores, the stomata, which are able to rapidly change their aperture. Most of this carbon dioxide comes from the environment, which in the case of the plants is the atmosphere. The pathway that carbon dioxide passes as it travels from the atmosphere to the chloroplast has three distinct sections. The first is the gaseous section. This extends right up the mesophyll walls. Once inside the leaf, the CO2 diffuses from intercellular air spaces to the sites of carboxylation. The second stage, carbon dioxide must then enter into solution in the water held by the capillary forces within the walls. The last step is to enter the cytoplasm and move from the carboxylation sites within the chloroplasts. This simply means that CO2 uptake happens in the stomata. From here, the CO2 is transported and the carbon is used by the plant. After this carbon is used inside the plant, oxygen is then exerted into the air. This is where we learned that trees and plants provide us with oxygen in the environment. Overall, the effect of the photosynthetic electron transport chain is to extract low-energy electrons from water using light energy trapped by chlorophyll and raise the energy level of those electrons to produce a strong reductant NADPH. NADPH floats off in the stroma and can be used to reduce a carbon, ultimately converting CO2 to sugars in this case. Photosynthesis consists of both light-dependent reactions and light-independent reactions. In plants, the so-called light reactions occur within the chloroplast thylakoids, where the aforementioned chlorophyll pigments reside. There, water is oxidized and oxygen is released. The electrons that freed from the water are transferred to ATP and NADPH. The dark reactions then occur outside the thylakoid. In these reactions, the energy from ATP and NADPH is used to fix carbon dioxide. The products of this reaction are sugar molecules and various other organic molecules necessary for cell function and metabolism. Note that the dark reaction takes place in the stroma, the aqueous fluid surrounding the stacks of thylakoids, and in the cytoplasm. Once the light reactions have occurred, the light-independent or dark reactions take place in the chloroplast stroma. During this process, also known as carbon fixation, energy from the ATP and NADPH molecules generated by light reaction drive a chemical pathway that uses the carbon in carbon dioxide from the atmosphere to build a 3-carbon sugar, glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. Cells then use G3P to build a wide variety of other sugars, such as glucose, organic molecules. Many of these interconversions occur outside the chloroplast, following the transport of G3P from the stroma. The products of these reactions are then transported to other parts of the cell, including the mitochondria, where they are broken down to make more energy carrier molecules to satisfy the metabolic demands of the cell within the plant. So there you have it. Photosynthesis is a process used by plants and other organisms to convert light energy, normally from the sun, into chemical energy that can be later released to fuel the organism's activities. Thanks for listening.